Hey, what's good, guys? It's your boy G Marcus TV, back with a brand new video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I am doing a book review on Kevin Hart's book. I can't make this up. Life Lessons. I read this book in 5 days. This was a book where, like, the first day I read it, I read 150 pages. This is a book I actually read, because of course you guys know me. I do the audio version. Nah, this book I actually sat down, took time, and read the book word for word. This book has over 600 pages in the book. I could not put the book down. I would give the book a 7.5. In this book, he promotes a lot about self-discipline, struggles, rejection, and failures. Shows you how to keep going no matter what. He talks a lot about that. He's had so much failed projects. Like, Kevin Hart was not an overnight success. Kevin Hart was busting his ass for a very, very long time. This dude was broke, going from Philly to New York, doing shows, not knowing how the hell he was going to get back home, not knowing how the hell he was going to get there. So of course it talks about he grew up poor, so where his mom did not pay for any of his haircuts. She cut his hair herself. He had a up hairstyle his whole childhood, his whole school years. His hair was up. She put a bowl over his head and she cut around the bowl. It was just like, oh man, this kid is like 5, 6 years old. His mom was very, very strict with him to where he couldn't do certain things. Anytime he did something he was not supposed to do, he got his whooped. Like one time he cut school with this girl that he's been eyeing for a long time, and somebody called his mom and told him where he was at because they seen him on the street. The mom came and beat his in front of the girl. I never been through that before, but I can imagine how that is, because I definitely got my ass whooped in front of my friends. In front of a girl that you're on a date with, oh boy, but his mom did not play that shit. She was very, very strict with him. He had to come straight home from school. Something I liked about the book, he pointed out, because his father was a junkie, like a real drug addict. I'm talking on the real shit, like high all the time type of shit. Like, he would always give Kevin a whole bunch of stuff, and none of them had tags on it, none of them had stickers on it, none of them had boxes. So, of course, the shit was stolen. But, you know, a lot of drug addicts, they have the habit of stealing, you know, to get drugs. So, he would always bring him stuff. Action figures, all the stuff that Kevin wanted, even a bike. And every time he gave it to him and his mom seen that there was no tag, which was every freaking time, she always sent the shit back. And mind you, she couldn't afford to buy him those type of things. I don't want to give too much of the book for you guys, but there was something particularly he wanted to do, and he couldn't do it, so he decided to go live with his pops. He lived with his pops, and that lasted a day because his father gave him freedom, but his father lived in basically a crack house, like where there was no hot water, there was no dinner, there was barely food, and you had to get to that damn food before anybody else did. It had roaches, it had the paint chipping. Of course his father had people over there. It was just a real shit. He had the freedom, but he couldn't live comfortably, so his went back home the next day. Something I'm definitely happy that he said in this book, he never did hard drugs and he never smoked cigarettes. But he was a person that he drunk a lot. Especially with his girlfriend, like at the time, his baby mama, Tori, they both used to drink like crazy. And speaking of Tori, that was the most toxic relationship I think I've ever read inside of a book. Tori is his ex-wife and is the mother of 2 of his kids. But that was the love of his life. The thing was, they were toxic as f. Both of them cheated, both of them broke up, got back together, and the thing that was so crazy about it was the relationship was so damn toxic. They would fight each other. He hits her, she hits him. She even spat on him. I was like, oh Lord, you spit on me? Yeah, you gotta die. It went from black eyes, swellings, bruises, all types of shit. And one time he passed out from drinking and woke up in jail. Basically they got into a fight, he blacked out, she called the cops, he woke up in jail. Him being petty cash that he is, which is so funny, he did the same thing with her. He tried to call the cops when he got into a fight. It was like, oh, she did this to me, she did this to me, arrest her, arrest her. So the cops got there and was just like, where's the bruises, where's the blood, where's the marks? And he was just like, I don't have them, but no, but arrest this, basically, you know what I'm saying? And they was just like, well, we're sorry, we cannot arrest her because there's no bruises, there's no blood, there's no marks. The justice system is trash. Like, it was a non-stop thing in the relationship. They would have fights, and after those fights, they had incredible, amazing sex. One of the things that was really depressing and sad to hear was he busted his filmed this pilot for ABC. They filmed the pilot, he's happy, he's excited, it got picked up by ABC, and the day of the red carpet, the day of the premiere, This is the day he got dressed up, of course. He flew the family in, all that stuff. He bought an $800 suit. On the red carpet, he was told that, yeah, ABC decided to go with another show. I was like, can you imagine that? You busted your... I could imagine that. Of course, he was depressed, he was messed up, but at the same time, he had Soul Plane come in. So Dame Dash discovered him, was just like, yo, you know, I have this movie that I have an idea for, so I'd like for you to star in it, and I'd like for you to write it. So him and Charlie Murphy wrote the script for Paper Soldiers. For you guys who know what Paper Soldiers is, it's a classic hood movie. This is one of Dame Dash's first films. Kevin Hart starred in it, he wrote it, like, he worked his off in this movie. He would talk to Dame Dash, like, yo, how would you want the scene to go? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? And Dame Dash, who was never a director, who didn't have the knowledge, didn't have the experience, was just like, yo, I don't know, B, just make this shit funny. Like, just do you. So he basically had no direction. He basically carried that movie on his back. While shooting that movie, making sure everything was good, making sure everything was on point. He was broke. He didn't really have money like that. So movie was shot, it was good. He didn't sign no contract. He didn't sign nothing. He just did everything on a handshake. When it was all said and done, he made $175 for the movie. I would say in the book, he was very positive about it. He was very thankful that he was able to do a movie, his own movie at that, and he was able to put his foot in the door for Hollywood. I think that's so crazy. People ain't doing shit like this for $2,000. I know a lot of people out there that's not doing the movie for that. His mom eventually passed away. So sad, but when she was alive, she was very supportive of him. She really tried to help him. So what she did was she gave him a Bible and she told him, listen, read the Bible. Because he was struggling with rent. He was struggling with like with bills, all that. Because he didn't have a job. He really put his full effort. He really put his time and energy into comedy. Like he was really going after that goal. So he was asking his mom for money and she was like, did you read your Bible? He was like, Mom, I need money right now. This is not the time for Bible stuff. She was like, did you read your Bible? And he kept saying no. And he was like, no, he did not read the Bible. And she was just like, when you read your Bible, after that, call me. So eventually one day, he decided to open the Bible. And as he opened the Bible, it was a year full of checks that his mom wrote for him to pay his rent. Shout out to his mom for that. Like, she really held him down. One of the things that was definitely motivational in this book was one of the first jobs he's ever gotten in his entire life, where he worked at a department store. One of those stores where they sold things for a cheaper price than a regular store. It was a whole bunch of stuff. It was colognes, it was sneakers, it was all those type of things. So he was asking for a job and he got a job in the shoe department. He used to work triple shifts, double shifts. This guy used to work on his birthday, holidays. Plus he was getting commission. So every shoe that he sold, he got some commission for it. He was remembering customers' names. They would come to him. He was the go-to guy. So he worked so hard that the manager promoted him to be the floor's manager. So he had this thing where him and his co-workers, they would make jokes while they were on the floor. Of course, when you work in retail, you get bored. So being bored, they would come with a whole bunch of games. He would do things like, hey, would you like these shoes? He's like, what? Like, that was the type of game that he was playing with the customers. So they would be cracking up and then they encouraged him to do comedy, and that's how he started to get into comedy. Thing I did not like about this chapter is he ended up quitting his freaking job. Like, his dream was to work with Nike, but to be in the corporate department. And then he said to himself, you know what? I'm going to pursue comedy full time. Mind you, the guy has an apartment. He has to make money. All he had was the comedy club. He would win the competitions that they had, get paid for it, but it would not be enough for him to pay his rent. He put in his resignation and they were just like, you're really gonna stop doing this because of comedy? They was really trying to convince him to stay. They was like, you could at least do this and comedy. And he was like, nope. Like, he did not hear what they want to say. So right after he quit, the freaking comedy club stopped doing the comedy because they was not making any money. So he's just like, Mike Epps said a long time ago that the only reason that Kevin Hart blew up because Cat Williams up. Of course, you guys know who Cat Williams is. That's another comedian. He blew up from Friday After the Next, and he was hot. He was hot as fish grease. Of course, he messed up his career. He went to drugs and started getting arrested. So things didn't really work out for Cat Williams eventually. He was supposed to be in a movie called Fool's Gold. So because he got in trouble with the law, they needed a replacement, which was a black comedian. So somebody from Kevin's camp had suggested that Kevin play the role. So Kevin auditioned and he killed the role and he got the role. The movie became a huge success, making over $100 million at the box office. Even though I don't really agree with that statement that Kevin Hart blew up because Cat Williams, I feel like they could have coexisted. Hey, iron sharpens iron, right? So the last thing in the book that really stood out to me was he was in trouble with the IRS. And I was like, oh man. When you're dealing with the IRS, they could be a real pain in the ass. So basically, the person that was helping him with his taxes was just like, yo, you owe $400,000, but all you have in your bank account is 30 grand. For everybody out there, be on your when it comes to taxes. Tax season just passed. Yo, I hope you guys did your taxes. Comment down below if you did your taxes. I know I did. The tax person really helped him out. He didn't file for bankruptcy, which was really, really good. The tax person just say, I'm about to wipe all your accounts. That way they don't hold it against you. The tax person set it up to where you can make payment installments, and he was able to pay everything off. So guys, we're at the end of the book review, and I would say again that this book was a 7.5, and I say it was a 7.5 because I definitely enjoyed it. It's definitely a good book, but he talked too much about the same over and over again. That's my complaint that I have about this book. So I don't think I have another complaint about that book. That was the only complaint I really have, but it was a good book. I definitely enjoyed it. For anybody that's out there, especially if you're an aspiring comedian, definitely get that book. So guys, thank you guys for watching. I have a lot more stuff coming. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell because I'll be dropping every single week. Thank you guys. Love you guys. You guys have a great one.
Got it. That's a wrap.